Let's just jump right into it. Every single year, organizations are pouring literally billions of dollars into rolling out key performance indicators across every level of their operations. But you know what's crazy? Despite this massive mountain of investment in data, shiny dashboards, and cutting-edge tracking tech, the exact same problem just keeps popping up everywhere. And here's the secret. It's not a technology problem at all. It's a structural one. And once we unpack this, it's going to fundamentally change how you think about business performance.
We've all been there, right? You're sitting in a boardroom, experiencing that intense, boiling frustration of staring at absolutely perfect metrics while the actual business around you is practically on fire. We are going to figure out exactly why that happens in this explainer. You know the feeling. The dashboard is glowing this reassuring, beautiful green, giving everyone this powerful illusion of total control. But beneath the surface, operational drift is quietly happening. Then out of nowhere, a metric flips to red and leadership goes into panic mode, scrambling to figure out what went wrong, and more importantly, how on earth to fix it. So, here is our roadmap to a structured solution for all of this. We'll uncover the KPI illusion, examine the cost of causal blindness, build the KIV, KPV, KOV architecture, explore the process hierarchy, walk through deploying IPE frameworks, and finally, we'll understand why AI needs causal structure. Okay, let's kick things off with Section 1, the KPI illusion.
So the absolute crucial flaw in conventional performance tracking is that it treats output metrics as actionable levers, when in reality, they're just lagging indicators of history. They are literally just telling you what already happened, not what is happening right now. Think about it. A delivery cycle time or a customer satisfaction score. That's not a physical dial you can just walk up to and turn, right? You can't just command a defect rate to go down. These are end results. They're produced by the really complex, hidden interactions of materials, machines, methods, people, and the environment. So when a lagging KPI moves in the wrong direction, it triggers this predictable, super reactive cycle of alarm and debate. Why? Because the fundamental question, what exactly changed upstream to cause this, simply can't be answered by staring at the output metric.
Moving right along to Section 2, the cost of causal blindness. When you're measuring outcomes without any visibility into the causal process inputs, you end up just treating firefighting symptoms instead of ever actually fixing the root causes. Without a causal map, teams are literally just reacting. You get this completely false sense of confidence from those green dashboards, all while your inputs are silently drifting toward failure in the background. It leads to endless waves of improvement initiatives that eat up time and money, but yield absolutely zero durable change. You also end up with these massive data investments, like IoT sensors and gigantic data lakes, that generate tons of volume but absolutely no operational meaning. Oh, and as we'll dive into later, this creates massive, truly dangerous governance gaps for artificial intelligence. This brings us to Section 3, the KIV, KPV, KOV architecture. Integrated Process Excellence, or IPE for short, introduces a foundational causal architecture to fix this exact issue. Think of KIVs, your key input variables, as the upstream conditions entering your process. A great example would be the strict raw material specs you receive from a supplier. You monitor these to control what is fundamentally possible. Then you have your KPVs, your key process variables. These are the in-process parameters that are transforming those inputs. Think machine speeds or pressure settings that your operators control. This right here is where real-time operational control actually lives. And finally, your KOVs, key output variables. These are the measurable results produced, like your final defect rate. Now, the true genius here isn't just defining these variables, it's explicitly linking them together. When a KOV signals a problem, there's no more guessing. You navigate straight up the causal chain to the exact KPVs and KIVs that are driving it. Let's look at Section 4, the process hierarchy. To make those variables actually work for us, we have to anchor them to a defined level of process abstraction. Because honestly, one of the biggest mistakes in standard KPI practice is mixing high-level and granular metrics without structurally connecting them. It's a mess. IPE uses a highly disciplined three-level structure to solve this. You have area, which is the big picture functional domain, like manufacturing quality, then activity, the operational unit of execution, like incoming inspection, and finally element, which is the really granular task or decision step, like an operator sign-off. When a high-level area KPI dips, this structural scaffolding guides your investigation seamlessly downward to the exact activity and element responsible. It replaces all that stressful, heroic guessing with a highly engineered, totally logical diagnostic path. Now, you might already be familiar with FMEA, which exhaustively looks at failure modes. Well, SMEA, success mode and effects analysis, completely flips the script on that. Instead of obsessively cataloging how things fail, it gives us a priority map of the upstream variables that have the highest leverage over our output performance. It evaluates the exact KIV and KPV states required for success, and it scores them based on a BOM acronym: business impact, occurrence likelihood, and monitoring capability. Does this variable drive massive business impact? How frequently does it occur? And critically, what's our actual capability to monitor it right now? This tells you exactly which upstream variables control your outputs and precisely where you are currently flying blind. All right, Section 5, Deploying IPE Frameworks. The critical insight you need when deploying IPE is that you must define and document the process before you ever even attempt to deploy a measurement system. Most companies just skip straight to measuring, and that's exactly why their KPIs fail. Step 1 is creating a positive environment, and I can't overstate this. This is absolutely crucial, because without psychological safety and trust, you are not getting accurate data reporting from the floor. Operators will simply hide the flaws. Once that trust is there, Step 2 rigorously defines the scope and boundaries of the process. And Step 3 meticulously documents the KVs and KPVs within that boundary. You literally have to map the actual terrain before you can build the dashboard. By stepping through these final stages, we transform a static process model into a live, causally connected performance management system. Step 4 ensures every single operator knows exactly which inputs they directly control. Step 5 deploys the actual measurement systems in that causally connected format. And Step 6 relentlessly drives continuous improvement using tools like SMEA matrices. You see, this isn't just adding context to your KPIs, it's an entirely new way of thinking. It reframes performance management from simply asking, what are our outcomes, to fundamentally demanding, what exact conditions produced our outcomes, and how do we control them? Now, I know what you're thinking. Building this causal structure from scratch across an entire enterprise sounds incredibly daunting, right? Documenting every single causal variable takes a ton of time. Well, that's exactly why there are 81 pre-built sector-specific IP-pack libraries available. Think of these as the ultimate shortcut, spanning everything from functional domains like injection molding all the way to administrative functions. These predefined libraries mean a full deployment that used to take months can now happen in near weeks. It's a real game changer. The conceptual contrast here makes it absolutely undeniable. We are moving from randomly guessing why a metric changed to highly structured causal navigation. Conventional practice forces a business to just wait for an outcome to happen, suffer the consequences, and then frantically react. But with IPE, you structurally link your key output variables directly back to the governing key process variables and key input variables. You're monitoring the root inputs in real time and aggressively adjusting your operational levers before the final outcome is ever negatively impacted. And finally, Section 6, AI needs causal structure. This structured navigation becomes absolutely unequivocally critical when we start introducing artificial intelligence into the enterprise. Look, AI is undeniably amazing at finding hidden patterns. But without deep structural guidance, it cannot distinguish between a true causal mechanism and a mere mathematical coincidence. AI models trained on raw, structureless data provide operationally dangerous recommendations. Seriously dangerous. This is exactly why the IPE architecture is the essential governance framework for AI. It prevents the AI from making wild recommendations that might be statistically valid but would be operationally disastrous. It strictly forces the AI to anchor anomaly detection to real process boundaries, predict based on documented variables, and optimize only within strict ranges predefined by your process engineers. As John M. Cachat outlines in the source material for this explainer, there is a definitive chain of logic we absolutely must adopt to truly govern performance. He says, KPIs measure outcomes. Outcomes are the result of processes. Processes are driven by inputs. It's that simple, but it changes everything. If you want to stop merely reporting on corporate history and start engineering your organization's future, you have to fully adopt this causal chain. So, I want you to think about your own dashboards tomorrow morning. Really look at them and ask yourself if you're truly measuring what you can control. Are your metrics just a rearview mirror disconnected from the steering wheel? Or are they causally wired, linking every single outcome you desire directly back to the process inputs you can actively engineer?